Okay, imagine this. Imagine you're in a restaurant and someone breaks a glass. Now, what is something that everyone else would do? They would turn around, look at the scene, they stare. Okay, now that's what most of them would do, right? They look around, they'll stare and see what's going on. Now, what if I tell you the cooler move is to actually act like nothing happened? Because, see, I think it's very important to be in control. Like, you gotta be able to resist yourself from looking at what's going on, from putting your head into something that's not your business. Like, why do you have to be so curious about knowing something that isn't even your business? Like, if that's something that doesn't really affect you, then what's the point of really putting your head into it? You know what I mean? Because I feel like maturity comes when you don't react. When you're in control of yourself, you don't need to look at every single thing that's going on around you. And today's episode is just about that. Today's episode is about see no bloopers, hear no bloopers. Okay, sounds nice, right? And it has a very nice and deep meaning as well. So basically, when that glass breaks, your brain goes like, okay, what was that? And you look. Right? And that's not a huge deal, but I feel like you gotta be in control. It's not something that's really bad. I think that's just how we're wired. Just because your brain wants to look doesn't mean that you have to, right? Like, you gotta be aware. I think that's where awareness comes in. Like, being able to notice that urge and still not react. I think that is control. Like, you have control on yourself. You don't react to situations, or you don't, respond to every single situation. Like, the situations that doesn't really require your presence, it is something that you should not bother about. Like, think about it. Yeah, not everything really require your attention. You're just basically wasting your energy. You can put that energy into many other things where your energy is actually required, where your presence is required. Like, not everything is your business, right? There are situations where your presence actually matters. That's where you can actually be present and make a difference. But otherwise, I don't think so you really have to bother, because not only in our case, but the other person as well will be disturbed. Because see, in a restaurant, if someone drops a glass and you look at and stare at them, that's awkward for them. That person wouldn't be comfortable as well. You being able to control yourself from looking at what's going on in places where your presence is not required, I think that makes you more confident. It shows control. It shows that you're aware. It shows that you're in control of your emotions, right? Like, you decide when to react and when not to. I think that's a very mature way to handle things. At first, when you practice this, you consciously ask yourself, wait, should I look there? Should I be bothered about this? You ask yourself that. But I feel like once you practice that question slowly fades away. You start being only bothered about things that really require your presence. And things that are none of your business is not something that you would be really bothered about. Like, there are a lot of bloopers that happens around you when you're in public. Like maybe someone right in front of you fell. Okay, fell means maybe you can help them out, but what if someone dropped something? Someone was walking beside you and they dropped something. You can maybe help them get it, but if they're already picking it up, you don't have to be bothered. You just have to walk straight. Like, those are little things that really, I feel like, I don't know, I notice them. These small things really are building blocks to your character. I feel like these small things can help you in bigger situations. Like, you stop putting your head into every single thing, like in other situations. Like, you stay unbothered where your energy is not required. Now think about this, okay? You looking at that situation would be like, okay, what's happening there? You start thinking about the situation, what's happening. That's normal. That's literally our human brain. We think about things that we see, right? Like, those small things, yeah. Imagine you're in a very formal dinner setting and someone while eating drops their spoon or fork, okay? And now you don't have to turn and look around what was going on. They just dropped a fork. It's human. You don't have to care. Just continue with what you're having. Like, I just find it so annoying. Like, why do you have to look at every single thing that is happening? Like, okay, someone dropped it's just human. Actually, it's human brain. We are very alert. Our brain is very alert. So it's not something that we can blame ourselves, but I feel like being aware is something that can actually help. Like, our brain is wired to protect us. I've told this like 3 or 4 times in my previous videos, but yeah, repeating it again. because our brain actually is wired to protect us. So our brain is wired to protect us. So when something happens, you have that tendency to, you automatically, you don't even think actually. You have that urge to, look around and see what's happening. So coming back, when you look at that situation, you think of what's going on. Now, when you think, that requires your energy, okay? And that energy is a waste energy because that's none of your business. So basically, you're wasting your energy. And now, when you don't bother about that situation, I feel like you get a space, you get mental space. It's like they're saying, I don't get that distracted easily. Like, I am in control and I can focus on my thing. Like, I don't need to know everything that's going on around me. I think that is social confidence, right? And also, to clarify, these are just bloopers that I'm talking about. These are those awkward, tiny situations that can happen around us. These are not an emergency situation where something happens, on the other hand, where you can actually put yourself out there and help out. If something needs your support, then definitely you should be there. But these small, awkward bloopers, you shouldn't get so distracted easily. Like, just continue what you're doing. Like, whatever is happening around you, let it just happen, right? It's not about being cold or uncaring. It's just about being aware, about being in control. And also, on the other side, when you think, if something happens to you, if something awkward happens to you, and the others around you keep staring at you, imagine that. Now, that is something that you will be disturbed about, right? So same goes the other way as well. Life in public is full of distractions. You should be able to control that. You should be able to be in control, I feel. So yeah, see no bloopers, hear no bloopers. Don't see them, don't hear them. Let them just be. You be in control and be in your space. You don't have to mind others' business if your presence isn't required there. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. I hope you liked today's video. I hope this gave you something to think about actually. I'm glad if it did. Till the next one, take care and bye-bye.